Today I'm going to be making a video about the worst parts about owning a Jeep. So today it is currently 34 degrees. It's a little chilly, not as cold as it has been, but it's still cold. And these Jeeps aren't very well insulated. Owning them during the winter is a little cold. I chose to be driving this during the winter just because it gets around in the snow fairly well. They just aren't well insulated. I mean, you can hear that. There's no insulation there. The doors are super thin and no insulation. The walls are nothing, and then that is raw metal. But as far as actual insulation, there really isn't a whole heck of a lot. Luckily, my heater works pretty well on this, and it takes only about 5 minutes for it to actually start heating up. But yeah, that's one kind of shitty part about owning a Jeep. Right down there, you can actually see the outside. I guess I should clarify, this is just about the TJs. I know the JKs and the new ones are a lot better. Those newer Jeeps are just a lot nicer with the fit and finishes and different things like that. So this is kind of mostly just with the TJs. The next thing that's kind of shitty are the headlight switches. They are only manual, so you better not forget to shut them off. I've done that actually quite a few times. I'm just kind of in a hurry and I shut the Jeep off and run and find out a couple hours later that my headlights are still on. That's just another thing that's kind of a bummer, is that they're not automatic headlights, so they don't shut off automatically once you shut the vehicle off. So a couple things that aren't really a big deal, but you know, they're not up to par with most daily driver cars. The audio system isn't always that great. I think there's only 4 speakers in the whole car, including these 2 up top, which a lot of Jeeps don't even have that sound bar. So yeah, so there's not like a great sound system in it at all. Another manual thing is the mirrors. Especially once they get older, they start to flex really easy. So when you start slamming the doors or whatever, your mirrors all get messed up. So they're manual mirrors, so you kind of have to adjust those quite a bit if you actually use them. The next thing is the gas mileage. Jeeps are notorious for having bad gas mileage. The one trade-off with that is that Jeeps are really cheap to insure. With this Jeep, I think I get about 12 miles to the gallon, so it's not great. But you know, the kind of trade-off to that is that the insurance is really cheap on these. I mean, you're paying less in insurance and you're paying more in gas. I guess it doesn't really matter. So you're spending quite a bit of time at the gas pump. 2 other things that aren't quite as user-friendly as most daily drivers are the manual locks and manual windows. Those are both there just because they didn't want to run wires into the doors. When you have automatic locks and automatic windows, they have to run power wires and all that stuff. By making them manual, you're able to take the doors off without disconnecting anything. So I know the newer ones that have those, you do have to disconnect the wires and stuff before you take the doors off. So the last reason I hate Jeeps is how loud it is. There's so much road noise on these. I mean, there's wind that's hitting up here. I mean, the thing is like basically a brick going through air, so it's not gonna be quiet. But it is really loud, and there's lots of rattles and creaks and stuff. I mean, that's just kind of the way Jeeps are, especially when you turn on the heater, because that's the only way to stay warm, is to have the heater going at full blast. They definitely aren't the quietest things. With all of that said, none of those are reasons that I actually wouldn't buy a Jeep. I love this Jeep. I think Jeeps are awesome, especially in the summertime when you get to take off the doors and the hardtop and just, I don't know. There's something about being in an open air car that just is fun. You know, Jeeps are awesome. I mean, they can go practically anywhere. They're awesome for camping. They're super durable, super cheap to maintain. I mean, so none of this is an actual reason why I wouldn't buy a Jeep. Just some things, you know, that you might notice when you're owning a Jeep and driving a Jeep is that, you know, they're not always the nicest fit and finish, but that's not their purpose. Their purpose isn't to be this super luxurious, fancy car. It's meant to be a rugged machine that can kind of go anywhere, and it's just a fun experience to drive. I hope this video is entertaining. I hope you guys got something out of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.